Hey, and welcome to our live election coverage of the Texas primaries. There's also a few other elections today over in Massachusetts, Oklahoma, and Vermont. So we've already got polls coming in. Don't mind my dog. Tonight, results from the first of the 2018 primaries. So we're going to be following the elections as we move on through 2018. And this is the first of, I think, the statewide primaries. Along with that, the elections in Massachusetts, Oklahoma, and Vermont, we'll be reporting on those. There's a limit on how much we can report in Texas. Just because there's so many, but we're going to be focusing on the primaries of our endorsed candidates, along with the Republican primary counterparts, as well as both primaries for governor. Along with that, we'll be following all the special general elections tonight in the other states. In total this year, Texas has the following up for grabs. It has one U.S. Senate seat. Of course, that's the highly contested race. We've got a lot of players in that race. Of course, Beto O'Rourke and Sima Hernandez are the progressive party, or people in the progressive wing are following. There's all 36 House districts are up for grabs. Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, Comptroller, Agricultural Commissioner, and Public Lands Commissioner. And I'm just reading this off from our election results Reddit mega thread on the subreddit. So you can view that there. If you go to the front page of the subreddit right now, it's actually stickied. We have 15 state Senate districts, all 150 state House districts, 6 Supreme Court seats, 45 appellate court seats, and many local judicial seats, as well as some municipal. So we'll be following a total of 27 races and 15 endorsed candidates. So the polls just closed, and I think we already have some results to report on. I've got Eddie here co-hosting with me, and we've got Carter running technicals. Hey, Eddie.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Okay, so we're just gonna kind of report on things as they come in. You know, we'll be taking breaks throughout the night, and then we'll probably stop when things start to slow down. I think we should get most of the results for the major elections here shortly. I think I just saw, did we already have a win being reported, or?
For Vermont.
Yeah, for Vermont. Chittenden County, was that the, that was the county that was reporting in?
District 3 for Burlington's, Burlington District 3 in Vermont went to Brian Pine. And that's the one win we have so far.
And, sorry for cutting in, but we also have for District 7, Ali Diang for Burlington, for the Burlington City Council.
Oh, so they held their seat there, Ali Diang as well, yeah. And I think the other one report is that Karina Driscoll, Bernie's stepdaughter, actually didn't win in their race.
Okay, I think that's all we have for right now. Let's take a look at the mega thread. We actually have, so the mega thread also has our moderators are updating that live as results are coming in, so you can track it there. And then we'll be following up with that as the night goes on. So currently in Oklahoma, we do have some reporting for the State House District 51. We have Charles Murdoch and Brad Bowles. Charles Murdoch is the Democratic candidate, and Brad Bowles is Republican candidate. Currently, Charles is at 27%, and Brad is at 73%. So, but that's only with 2 of 23 precincts reporting, so only 8%. And then in Vermont, we just went over Karina Driscoll. So she is running as an independent. She's at 35% right now, trailing behind Mario Weinberger, right? Don't laugh at me.
We're going to be butchering names tonight. It's going to be
I
great.
know, it's terrible.
Well, we already saw Karina did lose, yeah, but we have Mr. Weinberger. What is it? Taking that race that we actually have in that thread showing where people have won and where.
Yeah, there was just one precinct reporting, so that was the end of that. Is this? Oh, that's Haskell, right? General. And and Ellie Deing? Did you already report on that too?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So it's just Vermont so far. We're seeing Texas numbers kind of trickle in. Beto leading his pack at 56%.
Yeah. SEMA's at 25, and then there's Edward Kimbrough at 18%. We have only 26 precincts out of 7,694. So it'll be certainly a long night, probably. We'll probably see a chunk of those come in, within the next few hours, and then they'll trail in through the morning, probably, which we won't be reporting all the time, but
the results thread will be kept up to date. As they are finalized, you'll see little trophies, and we'll know which candidates are through.
Yeah. Ted Cruz is winning the Republican primary.
Well, that's
obviously.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in actually about that race, the Beto Ted Cruz thing, right? Like, is Beto truly a progressive? Like, how is SEMA going to do tonight? What is her message going to stand as? And, what is this going to really turn into after the primary season of 2018 kind of starts and unfolds and goes into the election?
Well, she's got 39,000, almost 40,000 votes right now, and we'll see, how she continues to do. But I mean, that's a quarter of the vote. That's people who are saying that, we don't want just a toe the line. I don't even know. Well, we wouldn't call them progressive. I wouldn't say that not, supporting Medicare for all and not wanting to repeal Citizens United is definitely not progressive. But he's appealing to the message in Texas, which I think, it's a deep red state. So he kind of has to play, middle. He has to toe the line a little bit and be more of a centrist. I don't agree with that, but I agree with defeating Ted Cruz. And I think SEMA is going to be the voice that continues to push Beto to the left. I don't think, a quarter of the people, if Beto wants to win that, those 40,000 and however many that translates when we get to the rest of the precincts back reporting in, those people aren't just going to be ignored, and they're not just going to, I don't know how to put it, go back to sleep or whatever. They're going to be voting in the generals, and they want to have a good reason to vote in good faith for Beto, and not just because he's not Ted Cruz. What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah, no, I totally see what's going on. Like, how you're saying. And I'm getting a little more updated. He's at 64 with still less than 1% of the state reporting. Yeah, it's, I understand it's Texas, but if he truly wants to maintain, I guess, his, if he does win the general, he's going to have to maintain those voters that did vote for SEMA. I don't think we endorsed SEMA, but these voters for Edward Kimbrough and SEMA, he has to maintain those, especially in a state like Texas, where, as we've seen throughout the years, it's flipped. We've seen throughout, especially in state government, become from a Democratic trifecta to a Republican one. And the same thing that happened in Alabama, for its Senate race itself. We already see Doug Jones already voting to the right on many positions. So now, You know, it's good that we defeated Roy Moore. It's good that we were able to flip a seat, but now it's time to hold them accountable regardless of which state it is. We saw the minority vote truly come out in Alabama. Now, what's the point of them voting for if the same voice that that energized them to begin with is so far going against them through his vote record? The same thing with Beto.
Eddie, you brought up a great point right there. It's how do we tell these voters why they're actually voting today? What is the message that resonates for just fighting this established Ted Cruz or Roy Moore, scandalous kind of established figure? And what does it mean when you go and vote and want to change that red to a blue? And so what is the progressive message here, right? Where are we saying it's good to vote? Where is it good to be active in the process? Where is it good to be, actually caring about these elections? And that is one thing I think that is driving these Texas primaries, right? This turnout that we're hearing for early votes being high for Democrats, right? This is the time for people to really start engaging their voice in politics. And I think the Republicans make that easy. I think Ted Cruz makes that really easy.
It's easier for him because it's Texas. He's been able to maintain Cornyn and him especially. They're able to maintain it because it's been heavily influenced by Republican money for decades already. It's not going to be an easy flip, definitely not. But if there is a flip, or if it does get any closer when it comes to results for this supposed blue wave that should be happening later, for the general, how are we going to maintain that? How are we going to expand it? Going back to the centrist policies is essentially counterproductive. You'll have your seats flipped. What's the point? What's the point of maintaining those seats if we're not even going to work with them? If the current Democrats that we say that they have to toe the line because they have a vulnerable seat, if they have to toe the line all the time, why are they there? Why should those people that voted them in to begin with stay loyal to them because really, if you didn't get what you got the first time, why, the notion to just simply go back becomes even easier. And this is we're going against a monster like Ted Cruz. He hasn't done, hopefully he hasn't done the insanity that Roy Moore has done. But we've seen through his vote record. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And now we just have to hope and see that there could be a change. That maybe the Senate, once it's done, once all the elections are done, maybe the Democrats actually fight for something. That with all these situations, that they do something about it. Because again, it's counterproductive for all of us in the progressive side, especially if the people that we elected don't work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just wanted to say, why are we progressive? If people keep, adhering to what they think is going to be the correct, I guess. I don't really know what to say. I think society puts a lot of pressure on us, but we're not actually really engaging people. We see polls come out all the time. How do people feel about Medicare for all? How do people feel about all of these issues? But really, who is presenting these policies to people, and who is giving them information? That's why, we at Political Revolution, we try to be we just try to give out as much information as possible. All of our work is information orientated in terms of, just reporting the election results, doing Wikipedia pages, reporting on, or, giving the election dates as they're coming on, and so on and so forth. So anyways, my point is progressives have to be constantly challenging themselves and challenging, how the viewpoints that got us to this place where we have a very, oppressive, intersectional, capitalist society. And it might be wrong in every aspect, honestly. I don't know. Just so we have to then challenge continuously challenged. That's how I feel as a progressive, continuously challenging, until we find the right way that is actually agreed upon by people, that makes sense, with not even within like a logical sense, but within an emotional sense. A lot of these, when we talk about oppression, we talk about people not feeling, okay in their skins and their livelihood, race, identity, all these issues come into play. And that's a very serious thing. That's something that you need to be mentally healthy to live in this society. And mental health and education, I think, are a big reason of why it is the way it is. Just whatever is this society that we live in is the way it is. And I do think that by not supporting Medicare for All and not supporting the repeal of Citizens United, I think that's not what we need to do right now. And those are just the first steps, honestly. So that was my really long rant. Do you want to, does anyone want to read off the, I think there's a couple more Texas congressional races where precincts came in, or we can go on a quick break and then report those. Yeah, there's Texas Congressional District 10. We have, that's a really filled field. That's the other thing in these Texas primaries is it's not just that Democrats ran where Democrats had never run before, but multiple Democratic candidates are running. So actually in Congressional District 10, we have 6, I'm sorry. And we've endorsed one of them, Madeline Eden, who's at 11%. Mike Siegel is at 52% leading that race with 2 of 331 precincts reporting. And the Republican primary for this.
Let's take a look at some of those B and CJD endorsements that we've been tracking along as well. I know Derek Crow for Texas's 21st district. He's currently in second or third, just with 1% of the vote in right now, trailing Joseph Kopser and Mary Wilson. So let's keep track on that election and see how our JD candidates are doing. We got Democratic primary 23 with Rick Trevino. He's at 14% right now, trailing pretty heavily to Gina Ortiz-Jones. Still just 1% in, though. Rick Trevino and anyone else? Let's see. How's Laura Moser doing? No votes reported in for Moser just yet.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a very, very long day when it comes to reporting results. And I'd like to thank Brett. I think he's maintaining the back end for this. He has a lot to do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Shout out to our best moderator, by the way, Dead Poetic 31.
Yeah. So far we do have we finally made it to 1% for the Senate. So far Beto is commanding with 63%, and Ted Cruz is with 84, with 1% of the district reporting. With that being said, this is an open game. These primaries are going to be open game, especially in the general, where there's going to be even more money at play. And I would not be surprised if someone does try taking, maybe on the more established side, taking an independent run or or endorsing the Republican, because how else do you maintain your keys to power, especially in races like this? It's a hard one. It's going to be a lot for, you said it was 6 in CD10, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's 6 in CD10. There's for the gubernatorial Democratic primary. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Democratic candidates.
Yeah, some of these races.
Which Lupe Valdez is currently winning that race with 78 precincts reporting.
Yeah, it's really indicative of that blue wave coming. There's plenty more Democrats coming to the table trying to seize their opportunity in a way and also really present the platform the best way they can.
Yeah, overall, the Republicans, for obvious reasons, they're turning so far with the current turnout, Democrats, but it's not by much when you come to think of it, compared to other midterm elections. So that is indicative. And again, it's still only 1% reporting these. These results can sway completely. I guess going off of experience from like working on some races, we do see a lot of like reports changing within the first few percentage points until 20, where even then, open game, it's still open game until until we finally reach the end.
Yeah, and with primary season, it's a little more interesting, right? With some of the elections, the districts, the counties, like you get to see how Democrats are over, several areas in the urban areas, whether they're more progressive, whether they're more centrist,
Yeah.
It does say a lot about the cities that, we're seeing results come in until the midnight hour and, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun reporting these elections.
Yeah, I can. I guess there is another PR candidate that's in the lead in the Harris County Treasurer Democratic primary, Dylan Osborne, which actually 3 candidates ran for that. I guess Harris County must be pretty large. He's got 30,000 votes right now with, there's 1,012 precincts. Holy crap. But he's in the lead by about 5,000 votes right now. And then there's also for the Texas State Senate Democratic District 25 Democratic primary. Say that 5 times fast. State Senate District 25 Democratic primary.
You gotta say it once first, Chloe.
But Steve King and Jack Guerra are running, and Stephen King has been endorsed by ourselves and Our Revolution, and he's currently at 54%. So that's another smaller race.
Wait, Stephen King, the author? Or Stephen
Kling? I have terrible eyesight.
He has to bring out his novel some way, Karsh.
If it's a progressive novel, I'll read it for sure.
No, we do have some returns for Congressional District 32, with the incumbent being Pete Sessions. So far, Pete Sessions is winning with 80% of the vote, and going to the Democratic side, PR endorsed Colin Allred is winning with a plurality of 40%, with only 2 precincts reporting. Let's see.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, I think, do we want to take a 5-minute break and then roll in?
Yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out to the teacher strikes going across West Virginia and some things going on in Oklahoma as well, right? So shout out to all the organizers working on this crisis in our education and gun control measures, and yeah, we just need some peace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was talking with a friend about the Oklahoma teacher strike and how they're going to go about that. And definitely, I think the whole nation needs to join in. I mean, people have been saying it ironically, but I mean, unironically, I think if the whole nation joined in on this, it would be amazing. It'd be an amazing show of solidarity. And it really has gotten to that point. I feel that it is at that point where it needs to be a national strike. because nothing is changing in regards to gun violence. And that's the outrage, you know, and nothing's changing in regards to teachers' rights. They make, I mean, a teacher who has been working, you know, 10 years in the educational system is making less than I do as an IT professional just for 3 to 4 years. So anyways.
Yeah.
Thanks for that shout out.
Sorry, if I could just hop in real quick. Continuing on that, you know, I'm a student. I go to high school. I'm a senior. Like I've seen, you know, I see my teachers, you know, they like one of, I think a history teacher does work 2 jobs. They leave as soon as they go for a night job. And, you know, New Jersey is the second highest paid state, but still, you know, we're shrinking, you know, we shrink the education department from the federal level and on the state level. You know, it's not going to help anyone. And it's not going to help the students, especially if we're going to continue just, you know, screwing over our teachers, the ones that we expect to enrich our society, the one you know, the people that we expect before anyone else to, you know, to create those minds that should be going to college. And when it comes to the gun violence, this is the perfect time, because once it leaves the eye of, you know, once it leaves the public sphere, we're just going to be waiting until another disaster happens for some kind of action to go apart.
How about these teachers, man? I mean, people are saying, oh, why don't you just teach these kids? Well, yeah, they are teaching the kids. They are teaching the kids. This is the lesson.
I also want to shout out all the people that phone banked today. Thank you for doing that. We are going to get you over your activism points. If you did phone bank today and you have your call score on grassrootspp.com, you can, if you go to political-revolution.com/phone banking, you'll see instructions there on how to actually submit your call score there, and then it is redeemable for prizes. So definitely get involved in that. You know, if you didn't get the chance to do it this election, then definitely just go to that website. There's candidates going with elections going on through until the like August, I think. So definitely always candidates that need your support.
And Glow, I actually just threw that link in our video description. So if you want to find out about the phone banking competition, you know, I think somebody today submitted 101 calls for Laura Moser. They really, 101, they totally schooled us. I mean, it's like, wow, that's a bad joke. But anyways, what you can do is get points and prizes as a result. And so you should. It's a great incentive.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll see more people doing that as the season goes on. Right now it's like March. People are just think getting out of winter and shaking off the winter vibes and everything. So yeah. Let's go on like a 10-minute break. Does that sound good? And then
before we go on that break, want to do a quick numbers update.
Like, no, get off.
So it looks like, yeah, just recapping, Brian Pine did win in Vermont City Council District 3. Ali Dieng retained his seat in Vermont City Council District 7. And then we go into Texas, which results are still flowing in. Beto O'Rourke is still kind of on top, with Seema Hernandez behind at 22%. And going into some of the BNCJD candidates, we have the Texas CED 21 with Derek Crow. He's at 25%. He's kind of catching up a little behind, still in third. And Rick Trevino at 14%, still way behind for his race in District 23. And Laura Moser's district is still not reporting. That's where we're at.
Thanks so much for that. Sorry. Okay, now I have something. Now I have something to say before we go on break. I'm just reading some comments over on the Way of the Burn sub. And then I also got some comments in the DSA Discord about, our endorsement of Beto. And we just want to let people know that, in no way necessarily means that we're acknowledging that this is even the most progressive, candidate. It's sometimes we do make math-based decisions, but at the same time, we're totally volunteer run. None of our decisions are necessarily top down. So we invite you into the Slack actually to be involved in those processes and definitely give us feedback. I think that, we definitely might have looked at endorsing SEMA if it had even been on our radar, which, Tyree mentioned in a comment there. And we are looking into like a committee, community oversight committee to be able to repeal certain decisions, with community petition, which you can do now. There's just not like a, over that, but always want feedback on, what we're doing and, what that message is and how it translates. Yeah. Okay. Break time.
Cool. See you guys in the flip side.
Hey, welcome back to our election night coverage. We have a big announcement. Beto O'Rourke has won the Democratic Texas Senate seat. So he will be going up against Ted Cruz in the generals in November. We have some other results to share as well. Let me just pull up the thread here. Okay, so we have in general, this is actually, general, anyways, in Texas Congressional District 2, we have 5 Democratic candidates running. It's another one of those crowded fields that we've been hearing a lot about. We have Todd Litton in the lead with 57%. We have J. Darnell Jones, who's been endorsed by BNC, JD, and PR. He is trailing by about 20% there, or 27%, I'm sorry. He's at 20% right now, but there's only one precinct reporting, so we might see that those numbers change as the night goes on. And for the Republican primary for that seat as well, it's also very crowded. We have even more Republican candidates running, which is very interesting. None of the other races really look like that. In the other races, you have, actually, I'm lying. Most of the other races only have 2 or 3 Republican candidates running, with the exception of Congressional District 21, which is actually on the Democratic side. That's the congressional district that Derek Crow is running in. So we're going to check in with him. I think we have a few more districts reporting. He is still trailing Joseph Kopser by about, I think, 7%. Sorry, I had to do math. Oh my God, by 7%. Mary Wilson by about 4%. She's in second place. Derek Crow's in third. But that's only 7 of 384 precincts reporting, so we may see again that those numbers change. Eddie, did you want to take it over and report on some of the other endorsed candidates and see if there's any updates for those guys?
It's going to take a quick search, but I do want to note for Oklahoma. I don't think... Oh, okay. Yeah, we have the final total for Oklahoma with 72%. Yeah, with 23 precincts reporting. Brad Bowles, the Republican, has won the election. So now let's keep it going. Apparently, there is some comparison though that maybe we should go through. Maybe the seat did shrink. Maybe his majority did shrink, and it hasn't by really much. It's gone down by only 5 percentage points. So this is still a very, very red district compared to what's been discussed around this area.
Right. Well, there is a little bit, we're seeing, if you compare it to the generals from 2016, they did get more of a margin. The Republican candidates got 80% margin.
Really?
So that's a slight drop, only about 8%, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's something. That's what we intended, but it's a start. Did we go through CD 26?
No, not yet.
Okay, we do have some with 2 precincts reporting. Lindsay Fagan, I hope I'm saying her name right. Fagan, she has been endorsed by BNC, JD, and PR. She's currently leading with 64% as opposed to Will Fisher. If she does win, she will be going against most likely incumbent Michael Burgess for Congressional District 26. And so far in District 29, we do have PR endorsed Hector Morales. So far, he is pretty far back when it comes to reports. The current leader is Sylvia Garcia. And take it away. Hey, Karsh, is close there?
It looks like we might actually have a little technical dropout there. She might just need to rejoin the Hangout.
Yikes! All right. I guess let's keep looking. Do you have any chances or anything
look at
big?
the BNCJD candidates for a bit, and
Okay.
that's about. Hey, Glow, are you still there?
Here's something. All right. Well, as we wait, I guess we can keep going with more. We can keep going with more results. Our favorite non-author, Stephen Kling, is currently leading with 54% to Jack Guerra's 46. As the night continues, these are still in the low, the highest so far being 2% of the race. So as the night continues, we will be seeing a lot of changes and possible drops in races. I guess let's see what's going on in the background.
You know what, Eddie? I think we'll go ahead and just take a quick intermission. Right back into coverage.
All right, sounds good. We should see you guys in a few moments.
Cool.
Hey everybody, we're back. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties there. So yeah, I think we reported, let me just reload this here and see if there's anything new that came in. We have for Congressional District 14, Adrienne Bell, who is BNCJD and PR endorsed. She's ahead by a very large margin right now. She's at 75% with only 2 precincts reporting out of 101. That's for Congressional District 14. Excuse me. I don't know if I didn't hear that we said that one, but I dropped off the face of the planet, so I don't really know. Excuse me. Do we have anything for Laura Mosier yet? Yeah, we do. She is at a 22% right now. We actually endorsed 2 candidates in this race, it looks like, Laura Mosier and Jason Weston. Yeah, Laura is in second right now to Lizzie Pennell Fletcher. And there's a total of 7 candidates in that race. So again, another crowded field. There's 7 candidates for Congressional District 7. And the incumbent Republican is leading in their primary, much to everyone's surprise. Let's go on Twitter and see what people are having to say about this election. Yeah, it looks like Beto O'Rourke is rising in trending. And he's about to have a speech at the moment on ABC News Politics. We'll retweet the stream for you. So yeah, he's gonna go up to bat with Ted Cruz. One of the other things that you know we were that I saw today was just seeing how Beto is actually going to reach across the aisle and really appeal to Republican voters. Because even though he's winning in the Democratic primary and a lot of people are coming out to vote for him, that, you know, substantially more people are coming out to vote for Ted Cruz in that state overall. You know, what is he going to have to campaign on in order to actually sway Republican voters? You know, I think he actually would behoove himself from actually coming out and endorsing Medicare for all. I think that's a hot issue right now. There was a poll that was released recently that said that, you know, across the nation, if Democrats win in 2020, that's what voters want them to focus on is, you know, universal health care. So I don't understand the logic in not doing that, I guess. I know that I think that he had come out with some like specific rhetoric. Well, he didn't like a certain aspect of the bill that's, you know, in the House right now, but that's the legislation that we have right now. You know, and you know, if that's not what you're looking for, then come to a better bill, you know, to the Senate. You know, so hopefully we can see him do that and we can hold him accountable. We actually did have a petition at one point to petition him to actually sign up for Medicare for all. Obviously he didn't listen to that, but you know, we'll see what 2020 or 2018, 2020 bring. But I just think that any Democratic candidate, if they want to retain any semblance of party unity, is going to have to, at the bare minimum, support that. So it's just interesting when you have organizations like the DCCC coming out against Medicare for all. You know, it's just biting themselves in the ass, shooting themselves in the foot. So what do you guys think about that?
No, I totally agree. You know, I do. Yeah, I completely agree when it comes to the discussion of, you know, of him not signing up with, you know, with HR 676 in the House and S 1804 in the Senate. You know, if there's such an issue about it, that's the point of House procedure. That's the point why we have these. You know, I understand you can't really do much with a Republican majority, but actual coordination when it comes to issues like this, especially if you're one of the first people, you know, of your party to get elected into some, you know, into a position that hasn't gone for the Democrats in such a long time, like, you know, this is your time to shine. And, you know, like, you know, we have Bernie's bill. Yeah, I have it right in my hand actually right now, reading it. You know, we have former Representative John Conyers' bill in the House. This is what needs to go through. If he has an issue about it, he should be amending it. He should be putting this to discussion with his future constituents. It's good that he wants this supposed bipartisanship, but as I said before, there is a cost to it, as there is the cost to direct partisanship, as the Republicans are doing right now. Well,
drop off the stream. Can you guys hear me on the stream at all? A little bit? Maybe not? Oh, I think I just came back up. Okay. Sorry, we're running this, you know, the actual stream off of our server, and then Karsh and I are on Google Hangouts. It's crazy. It's like maxing out by like 80 megabytes per second, whatever. I just saw a tweet though from Indivisible Guide that there's 36 congressional seats in Texas and only 3 women representatives. But tonight there are more than 50 women running to change that. It's vital that women from every community are empowered to run and win. Yeah, so that's great. Thank you, Indivisible Guide, for sending that out. You know, it's been said, I think by several people, that women are really going to shape this election cycle. And it's a very serious thing. And I don't think that it's a blanket statement. It means a very specific thing, actually. It means that, you know, female perspective, which has been, you know, oppressed in the past. I mean, and not just female, but you know, I'm sorry, I'm like blanking on the word to use. Ethnic diversity, racial diversity, LGBTQ diversity. All of these voices have been silenced. But what are we seeing a trend of? You know, we're seeing a trend of more women voting. You know, and now these issues, more women taking action, and in local politics, taking more action, and local organizations, and actually organizing, and they are being empowered by global acceptance of these issues.
Hey, Glow. You know, your audio's jumping out a little bit.
The acceptance of the acceptance. What I mean by that.
Eddie, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
I was wondering if both of our connections are
Yeah, I was trying to let her finish.
Understanding
Yeah, we're very sorry, guys. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Glow's we'll be trying to remedy it as the night goes on. So please bear with me. But I wish to continue discussing on the count of racial diversity, especially this election. We do see there's a huge change. There's going to be a lot of demographics that have been largely suppressed running for offices they would have not have thought of going in anytime soon. There is going to be a lot of differences happening within these next few months and especially in the presidential election year of 2020. You know, we've seen the largely oppressed groups of gays, lesbians, black, you know, let's be honest, races. They're, you know, they've seen the issues. They're still being affected to this day. We've continued rolling back on, you know, on the protections these people were guaranteed through the courts in the 1960s when it came to the Voting Rights Act. We've seen so many rollbacks or attempts at suppression through the state level. Now, if this is time for them to maintain their positions in whatever powers they can. And it's good seeing that people who would never imagine themselves running for Congress are running now. That this is what's needed in order to have a functioning democracy. If us as progressives want to overturn Citizens United, if us as progressives want to see true change in our system when it comes to Medicare for all, when it comes to basic issues that we choose to tout, or basic background checks when it comes to our weapons and when it comes to our weapons issues, you know, we do need these people that have long been forgotten by the money, that have been forgotten by these Republicans and many of these establishment Democrats. You know, this is the year, depending on whether these people win or lose of our candidates in the Democratic and or the Republican side, or whatever, which groups that we've endorsed or our affiliates have endorsed. Just having them there, having them being able to tout a message that goes to some people goes truly a long way. You know, and we've learned this with Bernie. We've learned this with many other progressives throughout these 2 years. And it's going to continue proliferating through our system. Glow up. So you're back?
Yeah. Am I back? I think I'm back, probably. Sorry, guys.
You're alive.
Thanks, Eddie. I wanted to say, too, something I just saw on Reddit is people were saying that, you know, SEMA, or in the vein of, you know, supporting true progressives and what is a progressive message and how do we get that to evolve, you know, they're saying SEMA might have, you know, more energized the progressive base. You know, and that's very true. It's I think overall there's different, definitely generational aspect of this.
So I think I'm going to jump in here because it looks like we're getting a repeatable issue, and we might go on break to actually fix that. I know what it is. But for now, if we want, we can actually keep some of the results. I think Glow is kind of going on, you know, with the race with Beto and SEMA and talking about progressive message. Eddie, did you have any thoughts on what she was saying before she kind of...
I kind of missed the large majority of it, unfortunately. I don't know if she's still hot micing, but yikes.
So let's go to a quick break because I think we have a technical issue to just work out. I'll just jump right back on.
Sounds good.
Cool. We can go ahead. I was just trying to focus on Seema and O'Rourke. So she pulled in over 100,000 votes. You know, that's no joke. And Beto is going to have to energize those voters when it comes to November as well. For Texas Congressional District 2, we have Todd Litton is still in the lead, but we only have one district reporting still for that. So they'll probably, you know, be reporting throughout the night here. For Texas District 7, that's the district with Laura Mosier in it. She is at, she's at 22%, still trailing behind Lizzie Fletcher. And the next race is Congressional District 10. That's Madeline Eden. We've endorsed, and she's at 14%, trailing behind Mike Siegel, who is still in the lead, but there's only 14 district reporting of 331. So all of this is very preliminary. You know, the big win was kind of the Beto O'Rourke for the night, so everyone can at least go to bed, you know, feeling good about that. But the real test will be November. Well, really, the real test is November for all of these candidates. You know, it'd be interesting to see. For some races, we did pull the 2016 election data like we did for Beto's and Ted Cruz's race. It'd be interesting to see, you know, what is the viability of Democrats winning in the general elections. I think we are going to, with at least what I'm seeing with the numbers of Democratic turnout, I think that will follow through to the general election. And we're definitely going to flip a lot of seats this coming November. Moving on to the congressional district where Derek Crow is running, that is 21. He's at 24%, so not much has changed really. Again, he's trailing third behind Joseph and Mary. Did you want to take over at 23, Eddie, and report, or you can take over whenever you want if you just feel like reading these off?
Yeah, just give me a moment. My thing's starting to lag now.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, we're just having like the greatest night for technical difficulties, I swear to God. And I'm an IT technician. I don't know to track these problems, I guess.
I'm telling you, it's the Russians.
It's the Russians. Oh my God. It's so terrible. It's like turned into a meme now. It's like turned around on itself, honestly. And it's like there probably is some, you know.
I mean, yeah, I know it's not happening here, but I guess just the. I hope not.
No, I know Russians are paying attention to us. Yet. Yeah. No.
Maybe the general, but
maybe in the generals, yeah.
You know, they need Cruz, but no, but back to the seriousness. No, you know, there's a lot so far going on today. I just want to interject before I go back to reading some results for Texas. There is a lawsuit now in California where Trump is suing California over the sanctuary city policies. This was just announced at around 9:30, 9:30 today, from CNN. So this is going to be one of the major tests also that these candidates, whether they win or lose in November and now, they're going to have to face. Especially in a state like Texas where there are, where it is a higher concentration of immigrants that do come in. So, these, especially, like states in the races in the 100-mile radius that ICE can operate in. This is going to continue spreading over. As we do remember, Texas is one of those states that proposed a bill banning sanctuary cities altogether and inflicting penalties on those cities that make an attempt to supersede it. So these are the candidates that have to truly represent what's going on. and I hope, and I know Beto, I hope he's not watching, but please correct me with his name. I'm sorry, but you know,
I think
this
it's Beto.
Beto. Okay, we're gonna go off of that for everyone's sake. You know, when it comes to Beto's race, he has to prevail, whether he wins or loses. This is the people that he will have to represent, along with his constituents. Because if the Democrats now aren't doing it, because we've seen them cave in already. They caved in February. They caved in before the deadline. Before that, we shut down the government twice, and there's still no resolution. There's still nothing that's going on with the Dreamers. You know, yesterday would have been the sunset date if it weren't for the courts. For Dream, I mean, for the current DACA, executive order, and now these are going to be the people that will be held to the fire, progressive or not. And with that being said, I guess let's continue with the results. You left off at 26?
26, yep.
All right, perfect. So we did see a flip as the results are coming in. Will Fisher is now leading by only 500 votes. This is going to be flipping around again with only 4 out of 195 precincts reporting. So don't get too hyped now when it comes to these races, because there's going to be a lot of flipping throughout the evening. And I'd like to thank Brett again for all this, for working the table tonight, because he has a lot in his hands. Now as we continue, Michael Burgess is the winner, has been called the winner so far, commanding with 77%. As we go to 29, we have Hector Morales so far trailing behind Sylvia Garcia. As we continue to District 32, Colin Allred is still winning with 40%, but still is a very slow race to go. For the Texas gubernatorial race, we have Lupe Valdez so far winning, with only 4 of the precincts reporting in. Is there anything else notable so far, Glow?
Nope, not that I'm seeing. I think everyone's just kind of waited with bated breath for those, looking at those JD, BNC, PR candidates, just kind of seeing, if they can come through or not. Ultimately, I think in the generals, most progressives are going to be voting Democrat anyways, but it'd be really nice to see these endorsed candidates come through. It looks like, it was just the one that you just read, with at 60%, Colin Aldred. No, he's at 40%, I'm sorry. So he is a PR endorsed candidate. So, when we do have those endorsed candidate wins, it kind of feels like, it does feel good, especially if it's one where no other org has necessarily looked at this, either for whatever reason. There a lot of these, it's a very crowded playing field. When there is an evolving spectrum of leftism, where we're, really, really delving into what it really means to be, I guess, not even just a Democrat, a progressive, but a leftist, for the people. What does it mean to, encourage involvement in the government, to want to have a government that, protects people and gives people a standard measure of livelihood? What is livelihood, and what does it mean to lead a healthy life? And what does someone need really to lead a healthy life? And before, hundreds of years ago when the founding fathers did their thing, it was it was a lot more simple: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are things that can be translated today, but health, is one of those things. To be able to pursue happiness, to be able to have liberty and freedom, one must have a healthy life. One must have, a good education. And it goes beyond just having an education in order to have a job. It goes into having an education to be able to actually interact with society, and education on yourself, self-care, mental health is all intertwined with that. And we're, I don't hate to sound like Orwellian or anything, but we're a mentally unhealthy society in general. Like, I don't think, I try not to be too doom and gloom with this stuff, but I wouldn't be like reporting on like a March 6th election if I didn't think it was really important. And this is where we start to turn the tables. We start to turn the tables when lots of people run and we have lots of voices involved. And we start to make change. We start to challenge. So yeah.
Yeah, you're totally right. When it comes to, this is democracy in action. Whether the Democrats like it or not, whether the Republicans like it or not, these primaries filled to this extent truly shows there's something going on, that people do want to change, I guess, their mental health, as you were discussing. Like the health of this nation, especially. People are fed up. People are going to continue going. The education of it truly decides elections. People who, I'm going to be honest, people who are educated, they do tend to vote, I guess, with us in a sense. But people that are educated in general, it shows that there is an electorate. People with higher educations do tend to vote. We have to be working on this, and that's the point of all these movements going on, of all these people becoming aware, of all these students. It's unfortunate that the situations that happened, like previously, had to thrust them into action, like in order for them to see that this country is becoming unrepresentative of the people. It was a simpler time. It was a simpler time before we threw money into politics. It was a simpler time before we realized the capabilities of party politics. And that's our job as progressives. That's our job with BNC, with JD, and all these other organizations from the right and the left. This is one of those years. We saw in 2016 people were starting to get enough of it. We're starting to have enough of it. It's unfortunate that those people who were having enough of it, I guess in a sense, voted for someone that was for it. And this is the time especially to rectify what we've done as a nation, to rectify what our politicians have done, what our previous generations have left for us to bear the burden of. And I hope tonight Texas is it. And this is just one of the many battles in this nation when it comes to our primary seasons, because what we saw with the DNC and Moser, I think, this is just one of the many battles us progressives have to face very soon. This is one of the many battles we'll have to deal with when it comes to the hard-lining Republicans and the rest of the country. And I hope that we continue to do what we can to change our country to the way that we all want it, that actually truly does benefit the health of our people. Not continuing to elect people that don't, that truly do put people last before party, or put people last before their money, before any type of currency in general. Because, people are still dying. People are going to continue dying, or they're just going to continue becoming ignorant if there is no angry populace that's there. And Texas is one of those examples. And I'm so proud to see that, whether our candidates win or not, and I hope they do win, but some races, let's be realistic, they may not win. But just showing that people did come out to vote. As we already see, turnout is expected to explode tonight, especially on the Democratic side. As compared to the Republicans, which are way lower. This shows that there's something going to be happening very soon. Is there anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. No, let me just comb through the thread one more time, see if there's anything spectacular here. Yeah, I think I'll be up for a little bit longer, and I'm in Mountain Time, so we'll be on the Twitter, and we'll tweet out those wins as we see them happening. Yeah, Congressional District 26 is pretty close right now, and we also have 32 is still being led by Colin Allred. So, we'll kind of wait on that, but he's leading by a very large margin. He's at 8,000 votes, and the next runner-up has 3,000. So, we'll see as the night goes on, but we might announce him as a win, once more precincts come in. So that would be kind of cool. Besides that, I just really want to give a shout out to all the volunteers who managed to put this together. We have 4 people running the podcast, which is kind of a small team, but I mean, we still, we still do everything. We got Carl running things in the background, Karsh, Eddie, thanks for jumping on. We've got Brett running the, well, he does everything. Brett does like all the Wikipedia pages and the results thread, and they get out the vote threads. Thank you to everyone who phone banked. We do this for every major event. So I don't think that we're going to be doing it until, let's check the election calendar here. I think the next primaries, do you know, Eddie? Or
Yeah, the next primary is Illinois. We'll be fighting in Illinois on March 20th. And continuing off of what you said before, with for Texas, if whatever candidate I think does not reach a majority in these races, there will be a runoff election. There will be a runoff primary on May the 22nd.
Okay, so we might do something for the 20th, and then you can just keep referring back to the results mega thread and our Twitter for any results that come in through the night and in the morning. If you want to view the election calendar, we always put our endorsed candidates up there. It's on the front page of the subreddit. Typically, those links are available in the YouTube description, I think. And then we also have an endorsements calendar, so you can kind of start preparing for that. Let me see if there's any candidates on grassrootspb.com for the Illinois primaries. I believe, actually, no. Oh, yes. Samina Mustafa, so you can phone bank for her now on grassrootspb.com, and we'll see about getting more candidates on there. Typically, we redirect, or the grassrootspp.com will approve a candidate, and it'll redirect to the justice dialer, and it just allows you to track your calls so you can then turn them in for prizes with us. So again, thanks for everyone who called. We had 200 calls today, and I think one person in particular did like over 100, so like half of them. I think, if I'm seeing that correctly. Let me check in our Slack here. Yeah, someone did like 101 calls for Laura Mosier today, so thank you for that. Yeah, we're still on Laura Mosier's race. I think there's still not a lot of information available for that yet. I think it's only a few pink precincts reporting out of 100. Let me just verify really quickly. She's in second now. I think she was in third, now she's in second. With 3,700 votes. Oh wait, no, this is still the same. It's still just one precinct reporting. She's in second place though, so we might see her pull ahead. She's not lagging behind by too much, only by about 2,300 votes. So yeah, all around good news. Yeah, nothing really else from me. If you want to see like kind of our general events calendar, well, we have two calendars. We have the election calendar, and we have an AMA calendar. And those are there's a calendar that lists both of them on the side of the subreddit. And actually, I can probably share my screen if I want to go crazy here. So you can see right here on the side of the subreddit where it says March 2018, you can see every single event, and it actually, we have like a, if you hover over it, it'll tell you if it's in bolded, that means that there's an event. So we actually have elections every single Tuesday this week. So we don't do a podcast for every single election, but we'll be doing the, we do the results thread. So yeah. Thanks again, everyone. Do you guys have any last thoughts or anything you guys wanted to say? Okay. Cool. Thanks again. Karsh, what are you smiling at? Okay, whatever. Okay. I'm just really trying to think while I got you guys. Nope. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Eddie, for signing on and doing this with us. I know it's always like kind of exhausting, but it's fun, and I think we're getting better at it, even though we have a few technical hiccups. So definitely we're going to be working on fixing those. You know, we've already, you know, gotten a few upgrades for this podcast in terms of a better camera. So, and I don't think, usually we don't have this many people on the Hangout. We have 2 computers on the Hangout and then the server. So thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for watching. Thank you for all of your support. Yeah, and have a great rest of your Tuesday night. We will see you around. Join us on the Discord. Join us on the Slack. We're always around and ready to talk and engage you guys. So good night. Signing off.